talking about Boolean strings. All right, so that's what we're going to be talking about within this particular concept. Boolean strings, very important, very, very powerful concept. So let's take a look at Boolean strings. We've seen some ideas around this before, but basically Boolean, we saw earlier, is if I give you something, can you check if it's true or false? Basically what Boolean is. So let's say, let's start with my name equals Fru, and I want to check certain things about this my name. I want to say is print my name, let's do dot is all numbers. All right, and what will be the answer? So is it all numbers? All right, check if all characters are numbers, but that's not the case. It's all numbers. Check if all characters are numbers. Oh yeah. All right, let's actually do 30. Just bear with me here. Sometimes these things. All right. All right, so that's one function that we can use. Let me go to the next one here. This is, let's do some more checks on the string. Let's do this one is alpha. Where is that alpha? All right, so true. Let's continue. So there's a whole lot of checks that you can do, and these checks are just simply giving true or false. Let's check is a digit. All right, in this case we should see a false. All right, because this is not all digits, but if I change this to digits, all right, this last one should be true, everything else should be false. Well, this should be true still, but this is false because it's not alphanumeric. All right, so this is true. All right, so there you have it. You can go ahead and play. There are many more functions. There's one to check if it's title case, which in this case it should be true because that's actually title. All right, so that should be true, but if I change that to that, it's not title case anymore. All right, so I can see that to be false. I can go down. There's a whole list of functions that I have available in here, and where I'm actually getting those from, guys, you can see, you can check if it's title, upper, check if there's space, if it ends with s, if it starts with a particular character. There's just a whole list of things. Check if all are chars, all right, so very powerful concepts that you can use, right? So this very first one that was kind of behaving a funny way is basically checking if it's all chars, which comes true if there are no spaces, but since I have a space, it's a false. If I take out my space, that one is a true, and that's where it seems to be behaving a little bit strange at the beginning, that I thought that it was strange, but it's actually behaving the right way. All right, so guys, there you have it. This brings us to the end of this particular lecture. Very powerful. Strings are something powerful that as a programmer, as a developer, as a Python engineer, you should be very well familiar with. To summarize, we've gone through a lot of concepts. Let me actually summarize from here. We've gone through a lot of concepts, right? You can certainly agree it's a lot of content to go through. So we are still in module 1, which talks about Python basics. This is lecture 1 or 3 that talks about strings specifically, and within that lecture there are many concepts. So here we have concept for module 1, lecture 3, concept 0 is working with strings, and then we went to string concatenations, then we went to string formatting, we went to printing strings with double quotes, very important. We saw how we can use many built-in functions within strings to manipulate uppercase, lowercase, and such. We saw how we can string together many string functions, where you apply a function, then apply a function to the result, and then apply a function to the result. So very powerful. We saw how we can check if a given input is a string, and also we saw if how you can check if a particular string exists within a bigger string. So important. We saw string arrays. You can look at positions positive going forward, or you can look minus from the end going backwards. All right, we also saw placeholders, where you can put placeholders within strings and be able to leverage that. And then at the very end, we saw a lot of Boolean functions that are available to check for conditions true or false on strings, right? Is it uppercase? Is it a title? Does it have numeric values, right? Does it start with a particular character? We can all check that using the functions that are available for us. All right, guys. So there you have it. This brings us to the end of this particular lecture. Very excited, very grateful for you